Now that I have some subscribers, I wanted to show you how I started my philosophy channel in 2015 as a car camping natural law philosopher, an important phase of my life. I began this lifestyle in 2013 as an artist when I decided that I would never be a slave to the system and would only survive off my own creative talents. I quickly discovered the enormous obstacles for artists and car camp by necessity, but then I grew to embrace the elegance and simplicity of this lifestyle for its freedom, the power of owning my own life, while seizing the precious commodities of time and attention. Thus, I was able to gain knowledge about myself and the world, develop self-love, and connect with Source. My consciousness was able to evolve with this type of sovereign lifestyle, and so it was no coincidence that I discovered Mark Passio's information on whatonearthishappening.com. Inspired, I wanted to learn, study, and write, and be a natural law philosopher doing the great work. This also led to the beginning of a book project titled Reconstructing Philosophy with the Trivium and Natural Law. I am sharing this with you because I want to help break people's illusions, misconceptions, and fears due to the shaming of this lifestyle to show you the love, joy, bliss of transcending fear, taking risks to evolve and truly live in harmony with yourself and nature. I'm not necessarily advocating for you to choose this particular path, as your life is unique, but to show the importance that our lifestyle has on the development of our consciousness, and to inspire you to make your lifestyle more suitable and efficient for ascension, growth, and activism, the great work, in whatever capacity you can. Also, it is my hope to inspire you to develop the courage to transcend any limitations you may be currently facing, and to take a leap of faith that will bring you closer to the good, true, and beautiful. To also develop and share your unique gifts and talents to uplift the world, talents that express your deeper creative purpose and highest authentic self. I'm here to break the stereotype that individuals such as myself are social rejects or dirty loser hippies. I'm here to tell you that the social system itself is the real loser and should be rejected for going against reason and morality. The control system has stolen the hearts, minds, and souls of most, leaving a zombie wasteland of fragmentation and unconsciousness, where intense emotional trauma and damaged internal operating systems are the norm. In this multidimensional war we are in, we must remember the power of the individual to create positive change in ourselves and others through the education of spiritual laws and active participation in the transformation process, in which ego death deepens our consciousness to be more aligned to objective truth and the greater good. Furthermore, my intention is to also show the paradox of comedy in that this is somewhat hilarious to consider as a preferred lifestyle for that time of my life. To me as a cosmic joke, to others as maybe embarrassing. In jest, I call my two-door Solera my mansion. However, I know the real comedy, or more like tragic comedy, and that is those who ridicule this lifestyle usually have enslaving life conditions of unnatural pain and suffering that material additions can never mask. The comfortable matrix-embedded lifestyle can be toxic to the life of the spirit, and one of death on many levels, through slavery and conformity. So on that note, this video contains some satire and is a complete mockery of the system, in my personal way of saying,
So facing my fears of homelessness was complete transformation for me. And at first I felt very victimized by it because I chose to be who I am, which I don't really belong on this planet. I'm an artist. So I became an artist overnight, practically, and was like not doing any other jobs or I'm only making money off my art to survive. My pain of being homeless was only based on what other people thought. And I soon recognized the awesome simplicity in it, and the joy of owning my own life was so worth it. And then I became really efficient at living in my car to where it became fun and easy. And the fact that I had control over how I was to live, and no one else on the outside, no landlord, no ties to anyone that comes with living in a place, that I got to decide everything. I got to be the dictator of my own life. But rather than use the word dictator, I got to be sovereign. And that's when I came across Mark Passio's work about natural law and the trivium. And then I was able to learn how to think and all of these other intellectual endeavors. But before that, I was able to learn how to eat right, how to just take care of myself without being corrupted by the system. And the system doesn't want to take care of you. It wants to make life extremely difficult, and so that you don't figure out that you're being enslaved. This is my kitchen. This is where I keep my clothes. And over here is where I keep bath stuff. Put that there for a nice little shield when I change. But normally people can't see me. And then I'm just getting ready to go to the university. So it looks really messy right now, but it's actually more organized than you think. But yeah, when you have the time to really get your life in order and to come from your heart, it's amazing what you can do. All of today I'm going to be spending researching in the library about this bunk science called relativity and quantum mechanics. Corporate science, basically. The funding goes to keep us dumb. It's way more comfortable than living inside the system or living in an uncomfortable living situation or having to pay rent and work at a stupid job. And I'm gonna be pet sitting again. Gentle dog. Yeah, I love being around animals. Look at you go. There, oh, there's love. Oh. So when I changed in the back seat, I throw my dirty clothes up front, and you know, I'm just basically showing you guys how I live because I think it's interesting and it's a super minimal way to live, so that you can spend your time fulfilling your passion and your love. I don't live like this to be a lazy ass person. I actually live like this for the opposite, to be more productive, because I'm not spending ridiculous amounts of time being an order follower and doing things that are destroying the world just to pay off stupid things I don't need. So yeah, this is my laundry bag. I particularly like these kinds of headphones because they don't hurt my ears. They're really big and bulky though, but great for listening to music. And then this is my 2-liter bottle. There's minimum, but what I'm going to do is drink a few glasses of this water. It's my car from the outside. As you can see, you cannot see in it. And you can see the front, you can't even see in it, especially when it's cold. It gets a little fogged up. So here's my walk to the university. Okay, here's me. 2 liters of water. Ah, the sunlight. Connecting with nature. And we're all yay! You have to relax the mind to come up with new insights. You can't just focus and concentrate, you have to decentrate. You know, it's a dynamic, balanced interchange between the feminine and the masculine ways of thinking. The 2 reasons for war are the belief in authority and moral relativism. The belief in authority asserts that other people should decide what our actions are. It's abdicating our own responsibility. But in reality, we can't. We are all each individually responsible for our own actions. So any participation in the political system through our tax system, which they own and create and therefore control us, and trying to do political reform and voting, all of that is feeding this belief in authority. What we need to do is become adults and start to develop a moral conscience individually, and to recognize that there is a difference between right and wrong, each responsible to choose, you know, what is right, if we want to have freedom. So moral relativism feeds into this, because if there is no difference between right and wrong, or they get to be made up, then the bully gets to make it up. And the bully being the political system that we're believing is our authority. They are the enforcers, they have the guns, and so they get to make up the laws. And the laws will always be to distort our freedoms and to give them more power. So, obviously, because it's a control system, and a control system comes from fear, we need to teach the children morality, moral philosophy, and it needs to come from love. Because love cares about developing conscience, having a conscience, and doing the right thing. Hey, let's get out of the matrix. So I just got home from the library, and they close at 11 p.m., which is fantastic. And I'm really stoked to be home. Hello, so this is me in the morning, waking up super happy because I'm free. I'm so grateful to be here. That is where I just took a shower. So I'm just gonna get some food here. They offer a free meal at the Methodist Church, and I volunteered to do these types of things, but because no place is vegan, I couldn't do it. It's against my ethics. Or not my ethics, it's against natural law. The ethic. That's a whole nother debate, but it's not really debate, but things need to be hashed out so people don't misunderstand things, and confuse absolutism, rigid thinking, dogmatic thinking with absolute as in universal law. They're two different things. My thesis, I was really into integral philosophy for many years, and I decided to not take Ken Wilber's word for it anymore, and to go back and study the history of philosophy myself and see what conclusions that I would come up with. And I began with a very general, simple book, because I'm also applying the trivium, which I'm learning as well, and you start with grammar, and so you want to just learn the real basics, in a childlike way, and then you keep going deeper. Then the next book you get is a little more deep. And I just braided my hair, and I'm off to my car and going to the library to work on my thesis. Yay! There's my home. Give me a kissy. Yeah. So I'm working on this, and then I got this little nuisance here. Nuisance of love, though. We gotta chase the sunset. Look at that beautiful expression of self exteriorized. Tears. Total destruction of the soul this world has brought upon the world. It's a total thunder hailstorm in June. It's insane. Look at the snow in the backyard.
Too much to handle.
just came to my car because it's raining outside. But I normally eat at the park, and I couldn't today. So I just wanted to show you, like, it's really easy to just eat on the run and super healthy at the same time. And I have all of my salad components in my backpack here, which I would be making myself the salad if I was on the lawn. I wanted to talk today about some points about natural law, and I completely understand why a lot of people don't get it. It took me so many years of suffering. I actually had a crisis in 2005 when I realized that my spiritual ego wasn't the shit anymore, and that there was something called truth and objectivity, you know, that I desperately cried out for to make sense of a situation I had created for myself that was a total disaster, total chaos and destruction. And all the while at the time I thought I was spiritual, and it was involving new age, postmodern, you know, kind of cultish stuff. But we were like the elitist New Agers because we didn't call ourselves New Age, and we saw through all of the rationalizations of the New Age. And this is when you have the rhetoric of a level beyond where you're really at. I crashed and burned. For about 8 years, I decided to consciously, you know, transform my character, you know, and transforming your character is one of the biggest things and most important things you could work on. It's really what the purpose of time is to evolve our consciousness, not to accumulate more matter or get a promotion at some wage slave job, but to actually grow and develop. When I came across Mark Passio's Natural Law seminar, as he provided the language of aspects of reality that were hidden from view, and this is the power of language, you see. Through language, we can describe aspects of reality that would otherwise be occulted, and that's why, you know, developing an understanding of new words and their corresponding reference is important towards understanding just more aspects of reality. And since then, I've been consciously practicing natural law. It's something to experiment with and test and to reflect on. And when there's chaos, when there's madness, when there's suffering, maybe that's because you're doing something wrong, you know, and wrong is the dirty word. It is part of the obfuscation of morality. The reason why the world is so fucked up is because we're doing it wrong. And it becomes so self-evident and clear when you can break through the mind control. It's in bed with your ego. Your ego wants to not be accountable to natural law and the cause and effect of behaviors. Because it's the moral context that dictates whether your life is going to be a life of harmony, of peace, of joy, of bliss, of love, or of the opposite things, of slavery, of bondage, of confusion. Your ego has to die before you can recognize the responsibility of your actions and how they do create your reality. Live in alignment, natural law, freedom.